My name is Jake for everybody at home, and I do a little icebreaker most of the time. So, Andy, you and myself and Jamie got to visit the most beautiful place I've ever been kicked out of. And I try to
That's
explain
true.
to people. I try to articulate how cool that was, and being with you was like took it up a notch. Could you try to explain that little trip that we took and what you got out of it?
Yeah, I mean, you know how sometimes you just feel like all of the cosmos have come together in one space and time. In 2019, there was Maker Central, and I needed to be there to meet a designer that I was going to be working with in London, and we just mashed it together with the Maker Central trip, and Jamie and um, Jake we went to Canterbury Cathedral, and on just the day I landed, I believe it was after Jamie almost got arrested at the airport. Um,
Sounds like a wonderful trip.
It's just
It
a
was
regular,
great,
just a
man.
regular
Kicked out,
Thursday.
arrested.
Woohoo! Just Thursday.
I think it was a Thursday, actually. Yeah, we did go into Canterbury Cathedral, and I'm kind of a neo-Gothic, or in this case, Gothic dork. It's just ever since I was 18 and stumbled into the Cologne Cathedral in Germany. It's just been something that has tilted me big time, both from a design perspective and a physical building perspective. It's amazing to me, and I think always will have a fascination. But yeah, man, you kind of get into a place that is the apex, and it was really cool to see it through Jamie and Jake's eyes, and I feel like we were all tripping really hard for a couple of hours, I think, and it was just it was a weirdly special moment in time where I know Jake was tripping. I think Jamie was just trying not to get hurt, but they tried to close it down while we were still in there, and things happen. So,
He said,
what's your take on that, Jake?
Well, the guy said, that guy was like, hey, he said, all right. And you said, are you kicking us out? He said, gently edging you towards the door. Super nice. I couldn't believe it was hard to. I've been a mechanic, and I've done a lot like yourself. You figure out how to do things, and so you look at something and you go, how? Like, how did they do that? Like, how
Right.
did 1,200, 1,300 years ago, how did they do that? You just don't understand. However much history is there, and there was a lot of things that you said, hey, here's how they get the depth on the sculpture, and here's how they do this. There's a bunch of that stuff, but you just look at the grandness of it, and you go, how did they do it? I think you said on that trip, it's supposed to, that whole thing is meant to humble us.
Yep.
And it definitely did, and it was worth the trip. I remember leaving there going, well, I can go home now. It's worth the trip. It was worth the trip to England just to go and see that. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Yeah, it's very weird that somebody can pull off a commission like that. And the cool thing about that is it's meant to overwhelm you, and if it does, and but the mass of the detail, once you start breaking it down, it still comes down to the little details that we deal with, in our shops. It's just detail, but there's just a metric ton of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.